Do you remember this? Well, I sold it and I bought this. It's a Cube Stereo 160A Actionteam 750 27 point, I don't know, it's got such a ridiculous name, but it's one monster machine and I am so glad that I did. I'm not a techie rider, I'm an urban rider, and I'm a Dartmoor rider who does the odd occasional mountain bike park bolt-on. I bought it from the bike shed out of town store, which is on the outskirts of Exeter, and despite everybody in the shop telling me to go with 29-inch wheels, I went with my gut instinct, which was 27.5, and I have never been happier. So let's go on a local urban ride and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Yeah, you guessed it, it's a hooligan machine. I have to say, over the 9 months that I've owned it, I probably ride this harder and faster than any bike I've ever owned. It's absolutely exhilarating in an urban setting. It's just as responsive in a bike park. The only other one I've been to, other than one locally at Holden Hill, is the Forest of Dean in Gloucester. But I managed the red and blue right tentatively, as you would expect, and then accidentally went down a double black extreme. The bike gave me so much confidence, I then completed 5 more extreme runs and the other 3 double black extremes, which really just shows you that even for an amateur like me, if you exclude the very large jumps, I can handle some pretty gnarly off-road. So if you own an e-bike, you'll have had exactly the same nonsense said to you, which is an e-bike is cheating or you just don't get any exercise. Well, I urge any of those people who say things like that to come with me and see how they feel at the end. I keep up a fast-paced ride at all time using the motor and the gears to keep me at a continual drive. Although I have to say I considered it at the beginning, the bike isn't chipped. When I first got it, I felt as though someone had thrown an anchor out the back when I got to 16 miles an hour. But after a near miss with an unsupervised child running around a blind corner on a cycle track, I realised I need to keep to a legal limit. One of the greatest local downhills. Gears arranged perfectly, with top gear topping out around 30 miles per hour. In other words, meaning you can't pedal any faster. The battery in the down tube and the motor keep it planted when travelling at high speeds, and there are few bikes that handle speeds like an EMTB in my opinion. I dropped the seat post and it lowers the rider's centre of gravity, and I've learned to take it down to about halfway and position myself slightly crouching over the bars for maximum stability. I ought to just clarify, it's a national speed limit road. I know every inch of it intimately. I know every road that connects onto it, and you can see that I have a lot of time to brake should anything untoward happen. Ah, that was fantastic. I think I managed 38 miles an hour then. It's not my record though, I think 49 is my record. After the bike went for its first service, it came back really loosened up as though something had been greased up or released in some way. And the longer I ride it, the looser it seems to get. It accelerates really quickly, it's got a great pace and it brings me up to speed very fast. When I bought it in the January sales in January 24, I drove the guys in the bike shed slowly mad. I kept A-Bing the Cube against a minty green white 160, which was almost the same price. It was £4,500 in case you were wondering. I had every intention that day of purchasing the white, and I tried the Cube on a whim, yet 3 hours later I walked out of there with the Cube, and I have to say that I didn't see that coming at all. The 29-inch wheels had that barge-like steering on the white, something that I grew to dislike about the stump jumper. The Cube also had better tech, better forks and Kiox 300 computer. It felt more rowdy to ride, more aggressive and more exciting. It also looks amazing, and I have to say this, if you gaze at your bike and instantly feel that urge to go out for a ride, then you've bought the right one. Oh, it was a one-way street, oops. That's what makes this bike so good. You just get it into auto, go up a steep hill,
get yourself at 15 miles an hour and then just keep going. It's only a slight incline at this stage, but it's a notoriously fast road. So getting up it, and more importantly off it, as soon as possible is a very good idea. I can just keep the pressure on and keep pounding all the way to the top. It's very exhilarating. Very good for you as well. Look out for flying golf balls.
So let's pause the ride a moment and talk about the Kiox 300. Every e-bike these days comes with a level of tech, like computers and apps. The Bosch Flow hasn't been without its faults, but they are regularly updating the app and seem to be listening to their users as well as reading the support tickets. I'm not familiar with other systems other than Bosch, so excuse my ignorance here, but I have to say I find it really good. The app needs to be set to always track on the iPhone, or it tends to stop tracking when the phone sleeps, or if the Kiox is switched off, let's say you stop for a quick coffee, it draws a straight line through part of your ride. It used to have issues syncing with Strava, but this has now been fixed thankfully. What I really appreciate is the customization of the ride modes. I removed everything except Eco, Auto and EMTB. I also appreciate the way the Kiox display layout can be changed to suit your needs. The navigation has been a little bit wayward, I have to say, with it getting into a spin if you sway from the pre-programmed route, but I have faith that this will get better and better.
The handling of these 27.5-inch wheels is brilliant. I was really worried about going to 27.5, thinking I'd made the wrong choice. Everybody was telling me 29s. I'd had 29s before, and I never enjoyed it. It just felt like it was a barge. This is really good, really responsive, rather twitchy at times. No, I know it isn't. It isn't twitchy. It's just responsive, and that's very different.
So you may remember from my previous videos, I had a Sirrus X. Do I still have it? I sure do. How do I feel about it coming off the Cube and back onto the Specialized? Well, the answer is a bit gutted. The Cube picks up so quick that the Sirrus makes you feel as though it's rather boring at first, but then within a few minutes after you start riding, you appreciate its nimble and lightweight handling. It only weighs 10 kilos, a whopping 14 kilos lighter. I have to say that I have enjoyed the longest e-bike honeymoon period that I could have ever imagined, but I've come back to the Sirrus X reinvigorated.
Whoa! Well, that was. So it's not a puncher.
It delivers a completely different fitness ride, often exceeding the limited pace of the weighty Cube, especially on the flat where the 15.5 mile an hour handbrake is definitely felt. Those steep Devon hills, although great for fitness, are often a drain, but I find that I've learned to become more considered and appreciate both bikes for exactly what they are. I often ride the Sirrus X in London when I visit friends. How long I would continue to own the Cube in the lawless bicycle jungle that is London is very much open to question.
I love the way it just picks up. You get to 15 as the steep hill comes. It just picks you up and takes you forwards. It's fantastic fun. So I'm coasting along here at 17 miles an hour, nearly 18 miles an hour, and it's a little bit of effort, but it's not too bad, and this is not using the motor. I'm going up a very slight incline, and I'm managing it fairly well, I have to say, but as soon as it drops to 16, I'll get that little bit of power. It's a beautiful gradient where the power just starts to kick in and gives you that little bit of extra help. Fantastic. Well, I've never been down here. Oh, delightful little bridges into your back garden. How wonderful. There's an exit through the church. Let's try. No, there isn't.
Well, this is unexpected. The handlebars are only slightly narrower than this tiny lane, but it still continues to manoeuvre all the way down.
Where the fuck am I? Somewhere.
So what would I change about it? Nothing. It's that good. I did put some of my purchases from the stump jumper onto the cube, the flat handlebar grips, and of course I needed pedals, but other than that I have changed nothing, and I don't think I will. I went to the Forest of Dean bike park in August and I forgot my chest mount for my DJI Action 4. I do hope you're appreciating the quality video upgrade too. Otherwise you would have seen how it handles off-road in this video. I can say that the Fox 38 forks must be helping, as my ride over rock gardens, routes and all-round rough terrain seemed to be so much easier than I'd ever managed before. I'm off there next weekend, so let's see if I can manage a repeat of the successful extreme runs I did last month. I'm 53 years old, I probably don't bounce or repair as easily, so I'm not going to be doing jumps and ending up in hospital for 3 weeks, so don't expect anything exciting on the next video. The Cube Stereo 160A 750 Actionteam 27.5, yeah I said it, is a bike for diverse outdoor adventure as much as it is for the intended purpose of thrilling mountain bike riding. Personally, I think it's very well suited to general riding on roads and tracks in urban or countryside or moorland settings. It's an engaging and thrilling ride with a whole load of hooligan to go round.